Broads Media.
What are we doing here? Honestly, what are we doing here? We're blowing double-digit leads to a Band-Aid Memphis Grizzlies team at home in the fourth quarter, coming off of a brutal loss to the Brooklyn Nets, who blow as well. And I'm sorry, I'm not just going to hide behind the fact that, well, Kyle Lowry wasn't available, or Tyrese Maxey's going through that concussion protocol, or no Joel Embiid. If we have any chance of being anything when those guys are available, there should be enough on this roster to beat that Memphis team. When you have 12-point leads late into a game, that's a disgrace. Tobias Harris was pitiful once again. I'm sick and tired of Kelly Oubre, even though he scored a decent amount of points. He's not very efficient, okay? Paul Reed can't stay on the floor because he's fouling out in 20-plus minutes of action. And by the way, he's out shooting Tobias and playing 11, 12 minutes less than Tobias. Paul freaking Reed is contributing more offensively in a significantly less amount of time than Tobias Harris. This cannot continue. This cannot happen. What a gross performance by this basketball team. Honestly, the game ended as soon as I started my show on WIP, and I wasn't really even planning on talking about them that much because, well, as I was preparing my show, they had a nice, comfortable lead. We have to get into the Jason Kelsey stuff. The Flyers were making trades, Zach Wheeler's contract extension. But the game wrapped up essentially as I was going live, and there was so much fire in my belly. What does Jonathan Gannon say? There's some fire in your gut. Well, I had fire in my gut, and I totally sort of maneuvered through my show prep and say, you know what? Screw it. People are leaving the Wells Fargo Center. I'm aggravated. I'm pissed off. Let it rip. And I just needed, 15, 20 minutes to express how much I can't stand this basketball team. And then I got home around 3 a.m. and I wanted to do it again for here on Broads Media. And I'm like, you know what? Let me sleep it off. Let me get a cup of coffee in the morning and then just wake up and do it when I get an opportunity. And that's where I am right now. But I fell asleep thinking I hate this basketball team. I fell asleep thinking I need another 30 minutes or so to rant because I can't stand watching just a disgraceful effort. You have 10-day contract dudes outperforming max contract guys. That is totally unacceptable. And Tobias, I'm sorry, but this whole lack of confidence thing, he's not as bad as he's playing, which I am a huge, huge defender of. I say it all the time. He's not a bad basketball player. He's playing bad basketball. Well, you can only hide behind that for so long. Now it's time to get your head out of your ass, and it's not going to be one game against Charlotte that satisfies me. I need way more. I need a 7, 8, 9 game stretch. And look, I'm not demanding you to go into Boston short-handed, go put up 45 points and beat Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm not asking you to go to Milwaukee and single-handedly pour 40 points down the other team's throat and go beat Damian Lillard. That's not what I'm asking here. I'm saying when you have a 15-point lead, when you have a 12-point lead against a team that is essentially playing with nobody, win the damn basketball game. And if I can't hold you accountable to do that, then what the hell are we doing here? Then what do we have as a basketball team? Because it's outrageous that I can't rely on you to do that, to execute that beating, what was their record? The Memphis Grizzlies are 22-41. 22-41. They scored 37 points in the first quarter. God, how the hell did that happen? And scored 34 points in the fourth quarter. And I remember looking, the Sixers couldn't buy a field goal for a 5-minute span, if not even longer, in the fourth. And they were sitting at a fat 11 points scored in the fourth during very important times. You're not going to beat a damn soul if that's the case. And remember, this is coming off of one of the ugliest things I've seen against the Brooklyn Nets. So now this is what we're getting, and it pisses me off big time. Dare I tell you what Tobias did in this basketball game? Okay, 3 of 12. 3 of 12, and he had 3 assists. He can't make a bunny to save his life. I've never seen an NBA player miss as many shots around the rim as Tobias Harris does, and he finishes with 3 assists. And hear me out for a second, right? Not that he's a specimen in regards to facilitating by any means, but if you're off your game, and if it's not really falling your way, and if things are getting difficult, I would like to think that maybe you can adjust and help your team in other ways. Hey, it's not my night. Hell, it's not my 2 weeks. Maybe I can help out this team by fighting on the glass, right? Getting some massive, important rebounds. There's been some games throughout this most recent run of disgusting Tobias Harris where he's not even grabbing a defensive rebound all game long. All game long. He's not doing a damn thing all game long. That's impossible. So I wish I could see fight in other areas. Hey, I didn't have my best scoring touch, but I finished with 7, 8 assists. I helped out Kelly Oubre. I helped out others. But he's just all or nothing, and it's nothing consistently more than it's anything. And that is so problematic right now. You need to rely on him. And I know he's not what we want him to be with the contract, and he's not a game takeover guy. I need somebody to be when nobody else is here. And if I can't rely on Tobias, come on, dude, come on. How can I not rely on you to be better than a guy who's fighting for his life on a 10-day contract? How can you not be better than, listen up, Kelly frickin' Oubre, who isn't very good? Kelly Oubre pisses me off. Sure, he can attack the rim whenever he wants, and he's willing. Congratulations. That'll get you a posterizer once every 7 games, and you can really enjoy that. But then don't forget about the 15 times you try to do it, and the ball goes out of bounds, or the ball gets blocked, or you miss the dunk and it hits the iron, and then whatever, something miserable happens because, well, that's what happens majority of the time I watch this team play anyway. Oh, man, this whole team irritates me like no other. So here's Nick Nurse talking about Tobias Harris. Jeff Skursky, I believe, is the one that had the 1-minute clip. Let's see. Yes, here it is. Okay. Let's take a listen to Nick Nurse and what he saw from Tobias last night.
Pretty hard for him at times, just because obviously he's going to be the focal point of the defense. You probably saw whenever he posted up, there was double teams, there was fronts, there was guys pulling over. There wasn't really any shots for him on that stuff. I think he didn't get by people like he has been getting by people tonight, but give them credit. They were playing super physical on the drives and kind of bumping and making rounded drives. So a lot of his shots ended up, kind of one-on-one squared up. And he didn't get very, very friendly rolls tonight like he gets sometimes too. So, he ends up being our 5th highest shot taker tonight, right? So there's a lot of guys shooting the ball tonight, and so he falls down the list there a little bit. I thought he fought pretty hard. He had 7 rebounds. That's pretty good. 34 minutes. There you go.
So Nick's just trying to stand up for his guys and not throw them under the bus, which is what you're supposed to do. But I think what was happening there is when he was looking at the shot total, he maybe, and I'm just speculating, but it sounded to me in his tone that he expected it to be better than the 5th highest shot taker. So he's trying to defend. Well, he grabbed 7 rebounds. Well, he did this. Well, he fought. Well, he was our 5th highest shot total. Oh my God, that's horrendous. Buddy Hield, 17 field goal attempts. Campaign, 17 field goal attempts. Paul Reed, 17 field goal attempts. Kelly Oubre, 21 field goal attempts. Tobias Harris, 12. Buddy Hield, 6 of 17 from the field. I don't know. I sit here and I get so aggravated. Turnover, sloppiness. What was that 4th quarter? You're not going up against the all-team defensive squad. You're not facing the best to ever do it on the defensive end here. So please, can we get sharper down the stretch, even without some guy? They didn't have Ja Morant. They didn't have guard play. They're throwing guys around the wing. That's unacceptable. That's as bad of a regular season loss as you can find. And I really hope that we don't have a lot of this fan base place going, ho-hum, what are we supposed to do anyway? We don't have any talent. Stop! Stop! They are responsible for this. I'm sorry. At some point, I have to draw a line. I can't pretend like all of this means absolute nothing forever. So you're good enough to build a double-digit lead against Memphis. I'm acknowledging that. If you're good enough to win that basketball game, if you're good enough to have a double-digit lead to that point against that basketball team, then the bar is set to complete the mission. And it wasn't very long ago that this team won against Dallas in Dallas, and I'm sure people didn't really expect that to happen. And I'm aware that when you lose Tyrese Maxey, things change. Maxey played almost 40 minutes that night and dropped 24 points on 8 of 15 shooting. So, yes, having that in your lineup but you're not playing Dallas, right? Like, you're not playing a team as talented as Dallas at that particular time yesterday. It's Memphis. They suck, and you failed. And yes, you let the city down last night, and now the morale is super, super low. I do find it funny, though, because I was taking a few calls, and someone brought up, well, because of the last 2 games, I'm out. I'm officially out. And I just laughed because while these 2 games are miserable, I normally don't like to set expectations just based off of 2 games out of 82. I just laughed at these are the 2 games that make you say, I don't know anymore. These 2, it is a tough task regardless. No matter if I saw these 2 basketball games, not even if the Sixers would have won this game, I still would be confused on what version of basketball you're getting when everybody is healthy. I just think it's too much to ask to have everybody rocking and rolling, playing their best hoops. And I don't even know if they're going to be playing a play-in at this particular time. Maybe we see a situation where they don't even get to a first round, a real legit first round because, well, Joel Embiid's out of shape. He's a little rusty. He's trying to incorporate Buddy Hield, Tyrese Maxey, this and that. Tobias, will things change because everyone is so focused on Embiid? Embiid's presence, he's the anchor of your defense, and you run everything offensively through him, basically. So just because the attention is we can't have Joel Embiid beat us, then the floor opens up for Tobias, and there's more space for him to operate because, as we can see, when you ask him to do something alone, he can't at all. He can't beat anybody. He's not creating any separation. There's nothing that's special with him when he has the ball. Sometimes I'd be able to watch him use his size on a matchup advantage and use his body to create leverage. I can't see him doing any of that right now. So I'm just hoping and praying that the organic spacing of Embiid, Maxey, Kyle Lowry, just what they provide gives Tobias a free range to go and to shoot and to have spacing. But here's the issue. When they played the Boston Celtics, he was so piss poor that he was getting Ben Simmons treatment. Go ahead, Tobias, take those shots because he can't actually make them. And if he can't execute, then who cares if they swing the ball around the perimeter because they double team Joel and then the ball finds Tobias because he's going to let it fly and it'll be a fat brick. All right, laying bricks for 48 minutes. So do you bench him? And do you put in Batum? And can you rely on a 35-year-old Batum that's barely hanging on by a thread at this point because he's getting up there in age? All right, it's not like I see a guy that's got a full gas tank right now. And unfortunately, now you're going to miss DeAnthony Melton for a significant amount of time. That dude is a lost cause this season because he can't stay upright. He can't stay available for you. And it's a shame because I do think that there's something he brings to the table from a guard level, just nice athleticism. There's something there for sure. When he gets hot, there are some nights where he is very important to the shooting, and he can totally rope 5 threes from the corner. He can make it splash and hit 3 of 4 from deep, which is a huge swing in the game. So you do miss that, and it is an impact when you look at the depth, especially considering you thought Robert Covington would mean more. A lot of these guys are all banged up. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's been one of the most miserable seasons I can remember. And, Whenever there's something that makes me feel good again, it was a nice win. Remember that win against Cleveland when Cleveland was on a 9-game win streak or so? You're on the road. You don't have a lot of your top guys. It's a good feel win. Whenever they do some good feel win, hey, they beat Dallas in the afternoon on a big primetime game, and Tobias Harris has a stretch. Everyone's like, whoa, Tobias on the main stage. Tobias with the lights shining bright. Who would have thought? And then it just comes crashing down when reality hits that they can't beat the Memphis Grizzlies when they have a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. It is so sickening. It makes me want to cry. It truly does. Now, before we get to the Anytime Hotline here, let me tell you about some things we're doing over on Broads Media, and we are adding more content. Coming your way is Coffee with Broads. That's right, it's back. Highly anticipated. Starting March 28th, which is opening day, you can join the Broads Media membership here on YouTube for $4.99 a month, and you will have access to Coffee with Broads live streams every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. It'll be very laid back, super chill. I'll be relaxing with you in the chat, and we'll be talking. It'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait. And there's also a Broads Media Discord channel, too, that is currently active, where we will communicate live when games are going on in real time, talking about all the action and just shooting the shit, hanging out. Nothing is changing with the current model. It's just an added bonus if you're looking for more. So I'm looking forward to starting Coffee with Broads live streams again, March 28th. And make sure if you're interested, you grab your membership today. And also, I want to let you know that all Sports Talk with Broads podcasts are available for you on the podcasting platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can leave a 5-star rating and a review. It goes a very long way with the algorithms. I can't thank you all enough, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying reading your reviews. So, thank you all so much for the love, the appreciation, the support. Without you, none of this is possible, so I just want to send that to you from the bottom of my heart. All right, with that, let's go to the phones and hear from the very angry Sixers mob. Let's start things off with Zach in Baltimore.
What's up, bros? It's times like this I question why I'm so invested in this Sixers team. I mean, you got beat by basically a team of G Leaguers. They got outscored, 34-16?
Gross.
In the fourth quarter?
Gross.
Where do we start? We got to start with Tobias Harris.
Yes.
The guy that's supposed to be the number one option. He goes 3 for 12. Your leading scorer, Kelly Oubre, he had 25. He was 7 for 21. Campaign and Buddy Hield are both 6 for 17. I mean, nobody was efficient tonight. The guys that were supposed to be scoring. This team's pathetic. I don't know what the hell it is. Every time they went and beat Dallas. That was cute, I was excited about that, but they just can't follow it up against these subpar teams. Brooklyn, now Memphis. I mean, it's embarrassing, man. Sixers Joel does not want to come back to this dumpster fire. I guarantee you that. He's waiting. He says, who can you get in the offseason for me? Because this team ain't getting it done right now. All right, bros. Peace.
I don't know, though. Joel could be the extreme opposite. I need to get back out there, which would be awful because then they're going to throw him out there sooner than he deserves. And then we're talking about, hey, is that what's best for this injury? Is that what's best for him long term? So I could almost see it where, hey, the team desperately needs me. I have to be out there for my squad and help push them along the way because there's no way we can hold up without me. It might be the complete opposite instead of, hey, let's see what we can get in the offseason. And by the way, I did a deeper dive on the free agency list last night. There ain't a damn thing. All right, LeBron's got a player option. Paul George has a player option. Drew Holiday has a player option. And by the way, nobody's leaving Boston to come play for Philadelphia thinking that they have a better shot. That Boston team right now, winning by 50 points, blowing teams out left and right. They're a scary juggernaut. You got a player option for almost $40 million. Guess what's happening? You're staying put and you're enjoying that money and you're enjoying competing and you go for a ride. So, no, it ain't happening. So there's really nobody. Tobias Harris. I mean, that's what it is. Tobias Harris, James Harden. It's a mess. Klay Thompson, who's a shell of himself, unfortunately, at this point. Pascal Siakam. Gordon Hayward, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Buddy Hield. There's a club option on Bruce Brown, Evan Fournier, D'Angelo Russell's unrestricted. Markel Fultz, unrestricted. You guys like these names that I'm throwing out there right now? Malik Beasley, Valanciunas, Doug McDermott. Here you go. Here's your list of free agents. You know what needs to be done? You have to get so damn creative where we can't even potentially project what it will be because it's unique. It's different. It's calling up and making trades, making money work, this and that, finding a way, whatever. It's something that isn't as simple as let me go look up 2024 free agents and see where certain guys fall. This is Daryl Morey having to show his worth, putting his testicles on the table, showing why he's viewed as one of the top premier president of basketball operations in the league. Show me why everybody feels that way, dude. Go get creative and do something savvy that we don't anticipate, because if not, then next year is not going to be fun, even with Tobias Harris being moved off the books, because, you know, it'll be DeMar DeRozan. Nice player. I don't want to do the nice player thing anymore, especially at this time in his career. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? DeMar DeRozan? Really? Stop. Please, stop. So, just letting you know there. So, the only thing I disagree with there, Zach, is I'm on the same page about how when they do something solid, it feels like, hey, that's nice, finally, and then it comes crashing down within minutes. Really, the back end of it, you say that Joel might be chilling. If anything, this might cause him to want to get back on that floor even more, and it might even want him to get back quicker rather than later. Maybe I'm wrong. And if that's the case, we already know the Sixers don't do what's best for him considering whatever happened on the West Coast, Portland, Golden State. He can't play this night. He can play the following night. His knee's hanging on by a thread. He can't even jump, according to Ramona Shelburne, in warm-ups, but he's playing anyway. You're up a big portion. You're up a lot. He's out there in the fourth quarter when there's no reason to play him. Why is he playing this and that and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember that actually happening, to him play. It wasn't that he was playing when the score was big and it was in the fourth, because normally he plays three quarters, sits his ass on the bench, and then he sits for the entire fourth. It was when he got hurt and you could tell he wasn't right. They kept him out there when he wasn't right. He couldn't move. You have to pluck him off the floor. They never do that. Joel Embiid controls the asylum here, and that's the problem. So that's what happened. They left him out there when it was clear and obvious he shouldn't be on the floor. And what do you know? Typical. Okay, let's take our next call.
Back-to-back losses for my Sixers. Not a big fan. And it's going to be so childish when I hear all the sports radio saying, oh, well, Embiid's hurt, Maxi's hurt, so you guys just basically just take a seat, just all those childish excuses. You know why we lost back-to-back games? I blame it on Nicholas Batum. I am going to be perfectly honest with you. The man doesn't contest. The man doesn't try to get rebounds, and he just stands there. We go out of his way to get him for second-chance opportunities, and that's why we lost to both Brooklyn and Memphis. Just second opportunities for them that Batum just doesn't want to capitalize on. And to make matters worse with this, the second game, at the end, we all knew it was going to be a fluke because Scott Foster was the ref, and it was a clear, blatant push by Kincaid, but Scott Foster just does not give a single shit. But, yeah, that's my take. Goodbye.
All right, thanks, man. So we got Batum and Scott Foster as the reasoning. It's funny, the second you said that there's one guy to blame, I was obviously just waiting for Tobias Harris because it's all been crumbling down on him rather quickly, and reasonably so. This fan base is very frustrated with the slop that he's been giving us. But you go Nick Batum and Scott Foster. Look, when things are happening negatively and when it rains, it pours, and everybody has blame for sure. Batum is what he is, right? And that's why every time people say bench Tobias, it's not good, we need to have Batum in the starting rotation at the 4. Maybe. But that's bad. Okay, that's bad. Bad that you actually want to run with the 35. He won't be able to manage. Sorry, he won't last 7-game series. And if this team even finds a way to win a play-in game, finds a way to win a first round, now he's playing 7-game series here. Then he's playing a physical 7-game series against the Boston Celtics. I don't know, man. Now, what's funny is I do hear some Sixers fans somewhat trying to convince themselves if they find a way to play Cleveland or to play Milwaukee and then escape having to play Miami or escape having to play Boston, maybe they could do this thing. God bless. God bless your soul. God bless your soul. Now, I've always said that it'll be so damn funny if the one year they actually get by and they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's the year where it's this. Nobody expects it. It's all over the place. It's bizarre. And then what do you know? Embiid returns. He's healthy. He looks great. Everyone thinks that they're going to be a walk in the park. They're not. And then you do it. And it's like, what in what world? Look, crazy things happen in sports. I'm just not going to allow myself to actually believe that's the case until I see them in the second round performing very well and having a 2-1 lead in the series before I say, hey, maybe there's something to this. That's what it will take for me to actually get there. But it would be funny. Because, nothing's normal in this town when it comes to sports. All right, everybody. Love you all to death. I appreciate your love and support. Thank you so much. And we'll be talking very, very soon.